people. Good morning. How you doing? Coming straight from the hip this morning, I am D6. I am missing Mr. Said. You know, things happen, but the show must continue. Nevertheless, in the morning, give it to you straight. I got my man Vonteego Cummings in the building, straight out of Thomson, Georgia. The man, the myth, the legend. Look, man, I grew up watching this cat, watching the whole team, and it's an honor to have you in the building. I appreciate you doing this, brother.
Thanks very much, man. Appreciate it to be here.
First of all, I'm gonna talk about Thomson basketball and what it meant for me to be a bulldog, and how watching guys like you and Charles, Tyus, and Dion, and Pap Rogers, the list goes on and on. But just watching you guys grow up kind of just led me to I had to be a bulldog, because as a freshman, I had an opportunity to transfer. And that was like after I grew 4 inches, because a lot of people see the finished product now, but what they don't know, man, is my 9th grade year, like, seriously, I was 5'11", barely scratching 6 foot.
Right.
So I want to talk about from your perspective, like, as a 8th grader coming in, because me, not so hot, but, like, you were Vonteego, you were man, and, you were that guy. So what was it like for you as an incoming freshman with, like, expectations and as far as people wanting you to build up to the hype and things
Well,
like that?
Thomson was great for me. Everybody knows that. They know that I came through Thomson or played against me. Thomson is what made me, and Thomson basketball is what made me who I am to today. But for me, I was destined to be good in Thomson's system, because a lot of people don't know that I was a water boy.
Right.
From the time I was in 3rd grade all the way time I could try out.
Okay.
So I knew the system. I knew what cabinet the uniforms go in.
Right.
I knew what cabinets the water bottles go in.
Right.
I knew Thompson's system in and out.
Right.
You know what I mean? I knew I was doing the exerciser when I was in the 6th grade.
Okay.
I was doing jumping over the bleachers. I was jumping ropes.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was doing all that. I knew the system. So when people say to me, "It's Coach Thomas," I don't agree with them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because Coach Thomas don't do anything no different than that he did with me.
Right.
The only thing is he was a little bit more hands-on with us. That's because back in the days, you could be. Now you get scholarships for dealing with AAU.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that eliminate the high school coach for the most part.
Right.
So for me, Thomson was, I kind of knew I was going to make it. Like, all I had to do was just get my schoolwork, and I just had to stay on the right path, make sure I didn't veer left, and do the right thing off the court.
Right.
And I kind of figured I would make it, because I seen something in Thomson basketball that nobody else that ever played since. All the other water boys,
right,
they never played ball. They were just water boys.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? They was water boys with their peers or whatever,
And that's what
I was a water boy with the Chris
dream.
Nards, the Greg Martin, the Xavier Smith, the Roger Hatchets. I saw all of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? I seen Thomson when I was my first year as a water boy. We were sorry. We was terrible. So I watched the transformation go through. I watched that.
You trusted. You watched the whole process.
I watched the Coach Thomas process. I watched them go from being good to sorry. When my uncle played, being good to going to sorry to being good again to being a dynasty. Doing whatever we did in the CSRL in the region and making the state so many years and winning the region so many years in a row. So I watched all that. So when it was my turn, I kind of knew, like, I'm going to be good for Thomson High. But when it came to 8th grade and he announced, he came to the school, at the middle school, he announced, like, they having tryouts, middle school, JV, tryout at such and such time, varsity trials at a such and such time. So I'm telling all my peers, Mario Hart, Tabari Small, I'm going out for varsity.
Right.
I'm not going to even show up for the JV. So I just showed up for varsity, and I tried out, and I made it. And
you stuck with
the rest is history. I stuck with it, and I knew, for me, basketball was my way out of Thomson. I knew that. So if I wasn't playing basketball, and I had to make it mine. I had to make it my duty to play and stick with it, because I knew that was my way to get out of Thomson.
Okay. A lot of people don't know, though, you were a quarterback.
Yes, and a lot of people don't know my first love was football.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I love football to this day more than basketball, but I just happen to be better at basketball.
I know you're a diehard. I don't know. Are you Brady or Patriots?
No, I'm a Brady fan.
So okay, I know you're a diehard Brady
fan. So
fan.
I'm going to Tampa Bay right now.
Okay, so VC going to TB.
Yeah, I'm a Brady bunch.
Okay, okay, I understand that.
I rock with the Brady bunch.
I mean, I'm kind of like that with football too. I'm more of a players fan. I don't really have a team.
I'm more of that with any sport. I'm more of a player. For NBA, I'm a Golden State and 76er for course, but I choose individuals. I can watch an individual play and
you can watch them play every night.
I don't care who win the game. I just
want to see them play.
Yeah, I just want to see a good game, and I like to see the guys I root for play well.
Okay. Well, let's talk about okay, you made varsity in 9th grade. Did you get to start immediately or, like that?
No, I didn't start my 9th grade year, but
because
I won't
that's
speak
a misconception people have now. People say, well, my man came, he was 9th grade, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, man, he started and he played such and such. Man, I was like,
my 9th grade year, I played a lot, but I won't get into the reason why I didn't start, and I know why I didn't start. It wasn't because of talent. It was because of Coach Thomas' system. At the time, we had a guy by the name of Troy Pascal at the point guard, and he'd been on varsity since freshman year.
Right.
He's 2 years ahead of me. Okay. So when I came as a 9th grader, he sat behind Chris Nars and Dion for 2 years.
Oh.
You understand?
So he had to wait his turn.
So he waited his turn. So it was no ego with me.
Right.
And it wasn't no ego with me because I've been a water boy. So I know how the system works. I already know when I try out, I'm not going to start.
Right.
That's Troy Pascal's job. That's his job to be the point guard.
But I'm here to make I'm here to make him better.
I'm here to be his backup. Okay. He's gonna be my backup. I'm gonna be his backup.
Okay.
And I don't have no problem with that because I've been a water boy. I seen the system.
Right.
I feel like it's gonna work for me.
Right.
So I trust the process. In my first year, I played a lot. I didn't start, but I played a lot, and I always finished the game. So.
And that's another thing that people get confused. Like, well, I started for 4 years, but it's not always about the start. It's like, okay, how do you finish?
Yeah, how you finish. And it doesn't matter anyway if you start in 4 years. If your team doesn't win, it doesn't mean. If you got to make progress. If you doesn't get better from freshman to sophomore year, from sophomore to junior, from junior to senior, it doesn't matter. I've seen kids and a lot of people be good at 9th grade and get worse by the time they're senior. So if you don't get better, it doesn't mean nothing. You just play 4 years. Anybody can play. And you gotta understand anyway on a high school level, when you go watch a game and it's 10 people on the court, there's no more than 3 good players on the court. There's no more than 3 good basketball players on the court, unless you at a IMG or Mount Vernon. You know what I mean?
Like Finley Prep or something like that.
Those are different type of high schools.
Right.
So, but I'm speaking from around our way.
Right, like a Evans and. Like a
CSRA
matchup, CSRA matchup, basically.
Exactly. There's no more than 3 good players. So.
And everybody else would be average. I don't gonna say average, but like when you say, what I'm gonna say when you say good is like kids that probably would have the potential to actually go on to the next level, higher than the next level, like college. And then you maybe you even got a shot at playing pro ball somewhere. Yeah. I mean, everybody's dream is to go to the NBA, but I learned after my senior year going to junior college that the NBA is not meant for everybody. Like you got to be one of the ones.
Kids better understand, out of 400, if we take 400, if we fill this room over 400 people, 400 kids,
right,
only one of them going to make it.
That's the odds.
That's the odds. Only one of them are going to make it.
1 out of 400.
Yeah. Only one of them are going to make it. So, and they don't understand that. So a lot of kids now, when they grow up, they let basketball use them instead of use the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, let's be honest, there are more people after their senior year, that's their last basketball game ever, than it is that people go play, put on a college uniform.
I totally agree with that.
There's more people. Their last basketball game is when they play their last senior night. Or maybe the state playoff if they make it.
If they're lucky enough to do
If they're lucky enough to make it. But if they don't, there's not that many people that put on another jersey once they leave high school.
Right.
And that's what kids don't understand.
Right, and that's what I try to get through to people sometimes, because I think there's a mix. People say, "Man, you big and listen, if you put 10 nickels right here, right now, if I had to say from my 9th grade to 10th grade year, I couldn't jump over them. Like that's probably the only thing that I was missing. I always had a brain for the game because I knew that was the only way that I was gonna last.
Right.
I had to know how to play the other way because I couldn't out jump nobody, but I can box out.
Yeah.
You know, I can scrap. I can play defense. If I had to define myself, like Draymond Green, to me, he's one of my personal favorite players right now just because of his energy. Not necessarily the talent, but he is a brain. Like, if you take him away from that Golden State team during that championship run, they probably don't get as many.
He's a big piece.
Yeah, you know, you just be that missing piece because you got to think, like, I played with guys like Othello Hamilton, like scorer. That's just plain scorer. You know, Kobe Simmons, he was a scorer. Then I had guys like Donald Williams. All these people are shooters.
Right.
And it was easier for me, okay, if they going to double team me, then why would I force a shot? Because these guys are making them.
Yeah.
And like you said, like back in the day, like we couldn't get the individual training. So we were all sitting in Cherokee or we going to Kobe's house and everybody, you know, we just shooting. Like that's how we built our camaraderie.
Yeah, you just.
This is one of my questions that I was thinking about asking. Your time at Pitt. Like, talk about being, you know, just being because for me, leaving home to go, I went to Dothan, Alabama first. I went to George C. Wallace Community College first. From there, we won the state championship, but they closed the program.
Right.
We won the state, come back from the national, and they like, good job, congratulations, here go you. But yeah, ain't no program next year. So everybody like, man,
y'all need to find somewhere else to go.
Right. So luckily for me, you know, like I said, I got my Uncle Tim. He was on the basketball aspect, and just in my life period, you know, he was a pivotal part. Like he
was a pivotal part of mine too. Tim gave me my first AAU chance.
So he was your first AAU coach?
Tim Dames was my first AAU coach.
What was that? I
was in 7th grade.
The Augusta Metros?
Yeah, I was in 7th grade, and it was a 9th grade team, and I made the team. But thank you, Tim. I know I made the team. I made the team because of Tim.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, you know, so going from Thomson to Pittsburgh, like that transition, like how was it hard, or was it how easy or how hard was it just transitioning to college life? Period.
See, for me, it wasn't hard, but a lot of people don't understand. I took a lot of heat in Thompson High because I didn't go to University of Georgia or University or Georgia Tech.
Right.
You know, like from administration and staff, remember, you know, everybody So, but for me, I knew that in order for me to be successful, in order to do what I wanted to do, I had to go get away from Georgia.
Period.
Because Athens is 45 minutes away from where we're from.
Be right back home.
And I'm going to be home on a weekend. I got a 9 o'clock class on Monday. I'm kicking it with my friends.
I can make it.
On a Sunday. I can make it early in the morning. Right. Then I'm going to slip up. Like, so by me going far away, I can't just go home when I want.
Right.
And when things get hard and, you know, adversity, I have to face adversity, I don't have nobody.
Right.
So I got to deal with it on my own. So I learned that, you know, by going away from home, this is going to break or make me. So if I can make it here, I can make it anywhere. True. So I went there, and I kind of chose Pittsburgh because, to be honest, they told me they would give me the rock when I first got there.
Right.
You know, they would give me every chance to start as a freshman. And once they said that, that was enough for me to hear.
Yeah, I think that's any ball player who signs a scholarship. I think that's the main thing that you're looking for in the beginning is, you know, hey, I want to come in and play because I want, you know, if you're a competitor, a true competitor, you want to contribute. You know, I'm not just here to be on the team or say I got a scholarship or I know I got to wait my turn, but while I'm here, let me throw a little piece in here.
Well, when college coaches came to visit me, I never asked them about playing time.
Right.
I never asked them about it, you know, never said anything about playing time. I just asked them about the school and, you know, and just check and see how many guys they had at my position. But I never asked really about no playing time because I felt like if you're going to let us battle it out, I feel like I'm
I'm gonna win.
I'm gonna play anyway.
Like, I'm gonna bet on myself.
Yeah,
Okay,
I bet on my, so I feel that way. So I didn't ever ask anybody, but Pitt just, I guess they just felt something in me that they was willing to give me the ball, and they was true to their word. As a freshman, I started, so I had no problem. And but to piggyback off what you said, I had no idea what to expect. I knew I was going into a new environment.
Right.
I knew that I wasn't the star of the team. I got to reevaluate myself. I got to rebuild myself. I got to show the coaches that they made the right investment.
Right.
So it was a learning curve, but after, maybe 6 months to a year, I got very comfortable, and then I still consider Pittsburgh my home to today.
Right. And see, I'm going to piggyback off what you just said. Like you said, the coaches made an investment. And I think a lot of people don't understand when coaches give you a scholarship, it is a year-to-year thing. They will say 4 years.
Yeah, but it's year to year. If you come in and they don't like what you're doing, they can easily snatch that away from you.
Right.
But you gotta still do what you gotta do.
And I hear a lot of kids if they do make it to the college level, then the first thing they come say, "Oh man, the coach, man, he ain't like me." No, listen, what you didn't do was prove to the coach that you were worth keeping that $3,000 scholarship, because he has to keep his job too.
Most kids if you hear a kid today blame a coach, that's come from home. That's because they've been allowed to make excuses. So that's come from home, because no coach is really just gonna straight out blatantly harm you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna do that. Like,
not on purpose.
Not on purpose. Everybody makes mistakes, but no coach is gonna be you're the best player and he just not play you. It's gonna be a reason why he don't play you if you're the best player.
Like
you might have missed practice, you might have missed class, you might have broken a rule, but you ain't tell your boys that when you went home. You just told your boys the coach didn't like you, he didn't want to play you, but you gotta tell your boys the same, your part too.
Because coming where we're from, once you say that, you tell people that he ain't like me, then that's what they roll with, and nobody's ever really held accountable.
That's what ignorant people roll with. I don't roll with that. Right. When they tell me that, I just
all right,
get out. Yeah, all right, whatever. I've been
what was
to college.
Your part? What was your part? Though?
I don't even ask when they part, because I figured out that they don't have the heart to tell me their part.
Right.
Because you could have just told me your part anyway, because you're back home anyway.
Right. So just tell the truth.
Yeah.
Let's just be real about it. So from through your 4 years at Pitt, y'all didn't get a lot of TV time, but I tell you what, every time I heard that Pittsburgh was playing on TV, I was front row, because it was just a dream to see somebody from my hometown on the big screen. You and I, we could sit here and name players all day, and a lot of them never really had that shot. Yeah. And I heard Steven Jackson say something in an interview. He said that the only difference between him and his friends were he had an opportunity.
Right.
Would you kind of say the same in a sense for yourself, is that you had an opportunity to excel a little further, as well as the talent, of course? You had the talent.
Yeah, I could say that, because a lot of the friends I grew up, they ain't having experienced what I experienced. So of course, and due to basketball, that was the reason I was able to see a lot and do a lot and accomplish a lot. So I would agree with him on that level, but at the same time, like, I work hard for what I got.
Right.
I work hard for what I achieved. Nobody put me there. Right. I earned my spot, So it was great. I had fun, and I wouldn't trade it for nothing. Like my friends are still my friends. I didn't change on my friends because I made it to the NBA. I played in Europe, or I played on TV. No, I'm still the same person.
So you played in the Big East, like when it was.
Yeah, I played in the old real Big East. Yeah. I don't know what that is now.
So, who was your biggest competition? Like, who was the person that you?
See, people don't understand. Like, people still think I'm young, quote unquote young, but people don't know I'm Allen Iverson age. So Allen Iverson, Felipe Lopez, all them people was in Ray Allen. All them people was in the Big East when I got there.
Yeah, see, y'all were loaded.
Yeah, so the Big East was the most physical, most athletic, most whatever conference you want to name, you know.
One of the most bruising.
It was just
I mean, it was
no
deep.
matter where you go, you had to be. You was in for a battle. So my first year, UConn and Georgetown was the battles, and they wasn't in our conference. But I don't know if y'all remember at this time, UMass is number 1 with Marcus Camby.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know
Carmelo.
we got them, you know. So
y'all top of UMass?
nah, we lost to them in double overtime at Pitt though.
Okay. See, that's a fun fact. I didn't know that one.
Yeah, so that was it. So Georgetown was always Georgetown, you know. Syracuse was Syracuse.
We go from the Big East. Let's talk about draft night. Like how surreal was that for you? Or did you kind of? I mean, because you know you worked for it.
Yeah, but it was very surreal. That's the only time in my life I ever cried for being so happy. Never in my 44 years, except for that only time. That's a tears of joy. I never knew what that felt like until that night. So that was a very blessed night for me.
Ask him if you had one of those suits on. Talk to him about that.
Oh yeah, one of them. Did you get one of them $10,000 suits? Because you know they did the virtual draft this year, and cats was at home in robes and flip flops and things.
Nah,
like that.
I didn't do that. At that time, I was strictly hip hop, Timberlands and Averex and.
So you wore the Timbs?
Yeah.
The big bomber jacket.
Yeah, and people don't understand too. Like, I paid my way to DC. That's what the draft was. Like, I didn't know if I was gonna be first. You know what I mean?
So you paid your own way.
Yeah. So if I'm gonna pay my own way, and
I'm gonna dress how I need to.
I'm gonna be Vonteego.
This is what you get. This is what you.
I gotta see a picture of that. Please have that picture for us.
What you see is what you get, huh? You know what I'm saying? I'm here though.
I did that in the league. You know, when I got there, guys were taking it to the suits. I ain't wearing no suits to the game.
I remember, guys like Joe Forte and a lot of other cats, big T-shirts and jersey. I know that wasn't really you, but like I think
now if I was hurt, I would wear a suit.
Okay.
If I wasn't playing in the game, I would wear a suit, but I wouldn't wear my suit to the game.
You put it on at the game.
Yeah, I would just wear whatever I wear. If I'm not playing, I would wear a sweatsuit to the game, and I would just bring my suit because I'm gonna work out. I'm either gonna get therapy, for the reason I'm not playing, you know what I mean, or I'm gonna be getting up some shots, you know what I mean. So I'm gonna sweat, and then I'm gonna get a shower and change. But if I'm playing in the game, I'm not coming in no suit. No, I'm not. No.
I don't think I could have really.
If it's a rule, I'm gonna abide by the rule, but. At that time, it wasn't a rule. They just preferred, unless it was a team rule. When I went to the Sixers, that was a team rule. And Allen Iverson, he ain't following that rule.
No.
So
let's talk about some of that time with the Sixers, like, man.
That was the best. That was the best.
Out of all the years, that was
the best. That was the little guys' fun, man. Derrick Coleman, Dikembe Mutombo. So we had a good vibe there. Everybody. Wasn't no separate cliques with the Sixers. Everybody was
one team.
Yeah, everybody was one team, So everybody hung out with everybody.
Like, how important do you think that is in winning? I think on any level, period. Just not even just NBA, but from high school up to college. Just to build like a winning coach. Like, how big is brotherhood and having a bond with your teammates?
Me personally, at a younger age, like middle school and high school and college, you really need that bond.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because at this time, you're a teenager and you don't really know how to separate the business from the, you know what I mean? The business from the activity or whatever you got going on, or the business from and when you get to the NBA, it's a job.
Right.
So you can. Okay, you work with a lot of people that you don't necessarily like.
Right.
So you can, do that. But when you're in high school and college, and you can't really do that because you see them every day. Like, you with them every day. Either you're taking classes with them, either you're hanging with them,
Right.
So I think it's a very, very key part that you have the camaraderie to win a championship or to be a good team. Everybody must be on the same page. Everybody must get along.
Right.
Everybody must understand their role. When everybody don't understand their role, you got a problem. So I think that's very, very big and very important to be a good team. Everybody must have that same cohesiveness.
before my next question, I'm gonna take it back and I'm gonna piggyback off what you said for a second because I think my junior year and my senior year were the most talented teams I played on. But my senior year, we were the closest. Like my junior year, it was the some of them, and then it was some of them, and then it was us in the middle. Like no, the ones who weren't choosing sides, and I think that created a divide because really and truly, my junior year, I think we were more talented, and we had the capability to actually pull off a state title, but we weren't together.
Yeah.
Now,
people don't understand. A lot of times you got a problem in high school because most of the time you got like 15 people on the team, 15 guys. It's always gonna be two people messing with the same woman. Or something, like, you know what I mean?
And that was a lot of it.
It's always a problem, like, you know, they don't say that,
right?
You know, because they don't want to acknowledge that, because when you're in high school, you want to be macho, like.
But that's what it is.
You know what I mean? That's what it is.
You
know what I mean? So you got separate cliques. He going home talking to him about you. He going hit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So until you can weave that out, they won't win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's any school. That's any place. Like, so, you know, winning is like a puzzle. Like a team is like a puzzle. Is everybody got a little piece.
Right.
But you have to put that piece together to make it complete. And when you put all the pieces together to make it complete, that's when you're gonna win. You know?
I've been preaching. I preach that all the time. Like even when I'm playing, just even with rec league, like I can't play with just everybody. But you know that's a whole nother subject. Now you said the Sixers was your best time as far as the NBA. Like, how was it in Europe though? Because I mean, you know, now you left.
I like Europe, but Europe is just, I understood what Europe was for me. Europe was
more business.
Yeah, Europe was my job, so I understood that. Like,
that was the job side of basketball.
Yeah,
you know?
That's the real job side, because Europe, like, that's a no nonsense league over there. Like, when you lose 2 games in a row, Americans are the first one to get on the bird. Americans is the first one.
So
you
on the chopping block.
Yeah, you on, and they'll bring somebody else in. You know, lucky I played on good teams though, but you got to do. You know, you lose a game, they find out you was out, it's gonna be a big deal. So you got to walk a straight line, and for the most part, that's. I joke about this now, but for the most part, I learned a long time ago how to social distance.
Okay.
Okay. That's D101.
No, that's real though.
Yeah, there's no social life. Practice twice a day. Back home to your apartment, you know, go eat, whatever. So
just kind of like basic.
Yeah.
Because I just as well as you, but I had one chance to experience, you know, a semi-professional season, and we did all the traveling. We didn't get the pay we were promised. But, you know, the whole season itself, so I can say as well as, you know, you like, well, you know, and as well as guys like Antron and Xavier, all the ones who've been to every level, I touched every level. So what more do I really, like, I cannot not be satisfied with what happened with my career from where I came from. Like, you were born with more talent, so, you know, bigger was destined for you, but for what the talent level that I had and how it all came about, with everything that I accomplished, I got 4 years of college and I got a whole.
And that's what people don't understand. That's what you're looking to play basketball for, or any sport.
Right.
If you can afford to get a 4-year scholarship or a scholarship, something where your parents, or you don't have to go take out a student loan. By you picking up any ball doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna make it.
Right.
Nah, that ain't what you're supposed to be picking the ball up for.
Right.
You know, you're supposed to use the ball, or use the game. Don't let the game use you, because one day the air will be taking out any ball you pick up.
That's true.
And what are you gonna do then? So what happens if I go to Pitt and I just play ball and don't get my work, and I go to the NBA. But when I finish the NBA, teachers are successful. Police are successful.
Right.
Thank you.
There's a lot of people that's successful that don't play sports.
But
there's a lot of people that don't like sports.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But they're successful.
That's successful.
At what they do.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, sports don't determine whether you're successful or not. And rapping don't either.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, so where we're from is either, you know, you got a wicked jump shot, or you know what I mean.
You know how it
yeah.
goes.
So
but one or the other.
Yeah.
And I think you said something then like teachers and lawyers. Like I think we need to start promoting those type of people again, because I think some of them don't get the recognition that they should. Because some teachers go above and beyond just teaching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
Like,
I think teachers are underpaid now with the new generation. That's what they make. So
starting out as a teacher, they start off with about, I don't know, I think it's like 38 or 40. I think starting out.
So the benefits must be crazy.
I mean, at the end of the day, holidays, vacations, stuff like that, or a Monday through Friday type of situation. Everything has its pros and cons, like any business or any career. So for me, it works for me a lot. As a math teacher, going on to teach some other things here pretty soon. Going to be teaching audio, video,
right,
and stuff like that. And after being in the military for so long, 20 plus years in the military and stuff like that. But the pay, I mean, if you look at it and when you divide it over 10 months or 9 months, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever.
Right.
It just depends on what you want to do. So that's with anything. Cats, I'm sure in the league was like, okay, like some of the NBA professional players, like, oh yeah, $50 million not enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
I need $80 million because this cat getting 100. I need to get 60.
Latrell Sprewell, 3 years, $21 million. Latrell Sprewell asked them, how am I supposed to feed my kids?
All 3 years and $21 million.
Yeah, like after he came off them, them mega deals. At the Timberwolves. I'll never forget that. Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm looking like.
Hey, you ever played against Rip Hamilton?
Yeah. Rip Hamilton in the Big East with me.
Okay,
and we was in the same draft.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's the real Big East.
Yeah.
So to be
Coatesville, Pennsylvania.
So that's a tough draft class then.
My draft class was pretty good.
I was loaded.
Yeah.
And you were a first round pick, man. And people don't like that's big for
That's huge.
That's monumental, especially like.
For me,
for you and being from Thomson, like that.
Yeah. For me, that's monumental. That was because how many people reach their dreams?
That's
number one. Like that's number one. Like how many people, even when you go to school and you major in something, how many people when they finish school get a job in that field?
True.
You know what I mean? Like they always get a job in you know what I mean? Like so, I look at it like I was blessed. I reached my dream. I reached my goal. Like, and how many people can say they done that in life? People make a lot of money, but they might have made a lot of money, but not by reaching their goal, reaching their dream.
You just made a lot of money.
You just made a lot of money,
And I tell you what, Vonteego, I don't know you from the next cat. I remember seeing you at Planet Fitness one morning, like 5:30, getting in work.
Right.
And I said, I looked at him. I said, dude, look familiar. I said, man, you Vonteego? He said, yeah, man, this, that, and the third. But what I like so much, man, is because you didn't play me off like I'm some regular cat. You know what I mean? No. And I've experienced that a lot of times because, I went to a school that didn't have sports. I went to A.R. Johnson Plug. And I'm one of the rocket scientist type cats, and I didn't play ball nowhere. I'm not one of these coaches, and this, that, and the third. So a lot of people kind of play me to the left, and I totally appreciate the fact that you didn't just like, dude, who are you type thing. So I appreciate that.
I respect the fact that you knew who I was. Like, a lot of people don't even recognize me, but that doesn't bother me. But at the same time, like, people have to understand, like, I don't expect for people to know me really because I was never no Hall of Fame. I was never no, I just played my part, and I just be me, And you were respectful for me when you came up to me, and that's all what counted to me. You respectful, so.
Yeah. Well, you may not have been the NBA Hall of Fame, but the Thomson Hall of Fame, you the GOAT.
Oh, I tell people all the time, like I pat myself on the back because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will.
Right.
A lot of people say, okay, they might call it arrogant. I call it a sign of success.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so people have different look, and I tell people, what's 4 plus 5?
We had 9.
What's 6 plus 3?
Right, 9.
But it's 2 different ways to get to it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So the way you do things, I might not do it, but that doesn't make the way you do it is wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So we can still be working toward the same goal.
And that's the problem what we got right now, even in the world. Like, people don't like to go where it's uncomfortable. That's even in sports. Like, if I'm training someone, even if you go in the yard when you was little, you'll shoot the basketball. But you ain't going to do nothing that you know you really have a problem doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you got to do that in order to be comfortable. You know what I mean? And that's the same in the world. That's what's going on now with our world. People don't want to go where it's uncomfortable.
Everybody want to stay melancholy. Like
if you talk about what's going on in the world right now, it's gonna be uncomfortable.
Right.
So that's why our big men don't want to talk about it, or nobody wants to talk about it. So that's why we've been doing what for 400 years now.
We overdue. We overdue.
Yeah.
Well,
so.
Vonteego, I most definitely, I promise you, man, I really appreciate you coming through and doing this interview with me, for me, however you want to say it. But
no, you already know you're family. You're from Thomson, and you're a real family. You're blood family. So this is nothing. Anytime y'all need me, just call me. And I'm in town, and I don't got no problem with it.
Well, you know, we're gonna do a feature. Trevor said he wants to get in. He wants to sit in. We're gonna do basketball talk one day. You know, I did interview. We interviewed Trevor last Saturday. So he came in, he put his thing down, he talked about the things, and he gave you some shout outs, gave you some praise, and he was like, this was off camera, but he's like, man, Vonteego, man, he good people, bro.
Mm. I really appreciate Trevor. He good people. He gave me an opportunity back home, and I think what he's trying to do back, for our community is really good because
and it's needed.
You already know, like, where we come from. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even have to go there.
Well, people, you've been in the mix with the Six. Sid will be back next week, hopefully. No pun intended. Like, seriously, I think he had something going on, but I pray that everything goes well for my brother. Hopefully he get him back in the studio soon. Once again, Vonteego, thank you for coming out, family.
I'd like to thank y'all for having me. I give a shout out to Cherokee and D Block. Thank you.
Cherokee, D Block, y'all know what's going on.